Morning.
Morning.
What's tripping your trigger today? The memo? Everybody else is going, the memo, the memo, the memo. People...
I know. And by the time this thing gets out, we may not even care.
Well, we may have another, it looks like the Assistant Attorney General may be out next.
Well,
I don't know. I mean, we're hearing a rumor.
Yeah, I mean, that has been raised, but I guess the question would be why.
Yeah. And Christopher Wray says he may quit over all this.
And the question would be why.
That's right. Mm-hmm.
Ray is defending his agency, the Bureau. And I guess, if you were the director of a Bureau or a secretary of an agency, you would. Because, not the entire Bureau is corrupt. Now, we're losing sight of a lot of things here, and I think we need to pay attention. We're talking about people that are currently in the administration. We're talking about Rod Rosenstein. We're talking about Christopher Wray. We're talking about, people like Devin Nunes. All of this stuff began under the Obama administration.
It did.
So we're losing sight of that. We may find out that there are a lot of other things here that we had not taken into consideration,
right.
Going back to the Obama administration. Not to say that what the Obama administration did was right or wrong. We don't know that yet. So I think we have to be a little on the neutral side. I think the media is causing all this hyperbole. And whatever is going on in the committee between Devin Nunes and Adam Schiff, there may be anger, but that's where we're supposed to have the debate.
Okay, hold that thought. We'll have a debate when we come back. Actually, we'll give you some more information.
Uniting Americans to the cause of liberty.
We will rally the world to this cause by our efforts, by our courage. We will not tire, we will not falter, and we will not fail.
Good morning, America. Hello, world, and welcome back to hour number 3 of the Captain's America Third Watch, broadcasting from our Moss Nissan studio here at our flagship station, AM 860, The Answer in Tampa, Florida, across America on the Talk America Radio Network, on our Salem Media Group stations, our Mega Talk stations, our Lotus stations, and our leading independents located at or near military bases all across the country. And by the way, tonight, around the world at the speed of the internet to over 130 countries, including many that our great military men and women are listening to us from. And thank you very much for your service to America. Let's get started with the 3 girls known as the trio, Ellie, Anna, and Darby. And here is our national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
All right, very good. That's the trio, Ellie, Anna, and Darby. And if you want to get a copy of that, you can go over to the Facebook page for the Captain's America Newspaper, Radio, and more. It's right there. It's the pinned story at the top. All right, Denise Simon, founderscode.com. Hello.
Good morning.
Very good. I like those girls. They're very good.
Yeah.
All right, let's get back into the. Oh, and by the way, before we go to the memo, it's Super Bowl weekend, right?
Yes, it is.
All right, we've had a lot of concern about this AmVet ad, and a lot of people, and I've even heard it myself. This was an ad that was going to appear during the Super Bowl, inferring that it was a television ad, and one news agency even reported it as a TV ad. This was a print ad, is that correct?
Absolutely, and just because you got some piece of media, that comes out and says whatever they say about it, you have to look at things very carefully. This was a print ad that went into the commemorative program that people buy when they attend something. To prove that they were there at the Super Bowl because they got the program. And a third party actually sells the advertising that goes into that program, and then the ad content, when the advertising is sold, then the content goes over to the NFL, and they approve the final copy. The program has already now gone to print, so it's finished. Now, the other thing that the media didn't tell anybody about, and not in defense of the NFL, but when this came up, the NFL went to AmVets and they worked together to try and come up with some kind of agreement on what the content would be. And AmVets stood their ground, and they would not make the changes that were recommended, so it didn't happen. So there you go. It was not a TV ad.
Well, here is
a print ad.
Well, here, folks, is the 30-second PSA that was sent out to hundreds of radio and television stations, and I got a copy of it sent directly to me last night from the AmVets, and here it is right here. We're going to play it.
Please vote.
Please volunteer.
Please serve. Please exercise your rights.
Please stand.
That's it. Hashtag please stand. That's what this is all about. Hashtag please stand. So there you go. Now you know it. And that's probably going to be played thousands of times over the next day or two, right?
Correct, but it's not going to be played on TV.
Nope. And PSA means that it's a free public service announcement, which radio stations do for a lot of different organizations. Now, the memo. Is this memo day?
Well, we're told that it is, but I'm not convinced. The changes, there were some edits made to the memo. Apparently, there were some punctuation changes and maybe, some a word or two here. We're hearing that it was very, very minor, but now and it went from the White House back to the House committee and to Devin Nunes and Adam Schiff, and Adam Schiff is having a fit because he says he hasn't seen it or had access to it, which I doubt very seriously is true.
Right.
But nonetheless, the White House has apparently said to the committee, all right, this is where we are on it. This is what we have to say about it. You guys decide when, how, where, and whatever you're going to release this, which was, I believe, really the right thing to do. The White House essentially needs to stay out of it. They need to, just kind of say we're aware of it. Trump has, in fact, read it himself.
That's right.
But nonetheless, it is now up to the House committee. So that's where we are. Is it going to get released today? I don't know. First it was going to be Monday, then, we don't know where we are on this thing. But all I can tell you is now we have the Bureau who's angry about whatever they're angry about, including Christopher Wray, and now we're hearing from the media that allegedly he is threatened to resign resign.
Yep.
And now we're hearing that Rod Rosenstein
May be removed.
Well, I mean, he can be.
Yep.
But this is all because he extended their surveillance.
Yep. Yep. Okay, hold that thought, folks, and we come right back. You couldn't make this stuff up if you tried. I mean, it's unbelievable what goes on in D.C. Drain the swamp, right? Okay, coming back with more. Denise Simon, Founders Code's back. Hello.
Hello?
We were talking about this story that was written by Mark Swanson that appeared in Newsmax, and he says in his first sentence, and I'm going to read it here because this is kind of important to the scheme of things and why we're not hearing everything that we need to hear. He says one of the first casualties of a controversial memo that Republicans are poised to make public could be Deputy Attorney General Rod Rosenstein, according to the Washington Post. Okay, I realize he's making a statement that another newspaper said. But nobody's telling what the FBI is doing and how we got to the point that we're at, are they?
No. And are you aware of what is at the core of the memo?
No.
Okay. The memo is essentially about the continued surveillance on Carter Page. Now, do you know who Carter Page is?
Yeah, he was the Trump guy that went over to Russia and all that stuff.
Okay, well, that's important because the surveillance, and we don't know how much of surveillance, but the concern about Carter Page and Russia began in 2013.
Wow.
Yes. Now, why would that be? We need to understand who and what Carter Page was in 2013. This had nothing, at the time, it had nothing to do with the dossier. The dossier didn't exist in 2013, did it?
Nope.
Okay. Carter Page was very involved with Gazprom, which is the Russian energy company.
Is that the one that, what's his face owned, the president?
Well, everything is nationalized over there.
Okay,
right?
well, I thought he specifically had a controlling interest in it. Putin, Vladimir Putin.
Well, I mean, it's too hard to tell what Putin is doing and not doing because of the way he covers his operations. Okay, now having said that, Carter Page even lived in Moscow, I think, for 3 years. Now, you've got an American that is doing business with a large corporation that has a shady history and shady operations, correct?
Yep.
Okay. Now, would the FBI want to be just a little more suspicious and kind of track this cat and see what's really going on?
More than likely.
Legitimately? Okay. So, the agency, through, I guess, the Department of Justice, asked for perhaps a FISA warrant approval on Carter Page going back as far as 2013. And it continued, especially because all of a sudden now this fella is in some part of the Trump campaign operation. We don't know in what regard. We don't know, a lot of those kinds of things. But you have an infusion here of some of these operatives. And I am not defending FISA. I am not defending FBI because I don't know I can't see the world through their eyes. But I think we need to look at that. We do have operatives all the time that are recruiting people in the United States. Now, are you familiar with a fellow by the name of Dana Rohrabacher?
Oh, I've heard the name mentioned, yeah.
He is a California congressman.
Yeah.
He is very pro-Russia, very pro-Putin. In fact, he was also being recruited. Imagine that. A sitting congressman. And he was recruited and had so many interactions with the Russians that the Russians actually gave him a name. Like a case name. Uh-huh. And that the FBI had gone to Dana Rohrabacher more than once and said, Are you aware that you are dealing with this person, and you are being recruited here as an operative? So let's put things in perspective. Let's look at these conditions through the eyes of the FBI. They're not making allegations that you're guilty. They're just kind of blowing their horn and saying, the alarm horn, and saying, hey, this is going on. Now, Rod Rosenstein, when he sees some evidence, and we keep hearing that the dossier was the evidence for approving the surveillance
Correct.
on Carter Page, it may have been a piece part, but it isn't the total part. You see what I'm saying, of the evidence that went to the FISA court.
By the way, did Joe Biden's son deal with the Ukraine and Russia with the gas too?
I can't speak to that. I don't know.
All right.
I don't know. Now also, too, the Democrats are freaking out because Donald Trump has refused to add more sanctions against Russia for their interference into all things the United States in our election cycle, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, how many people know that earlier this week or late last week, the Treasury Department came out with a list of what are necessarily called Russian oligarchs that are suspicious characters, and the list may include sanctions. Because I wrote about it, and it's quite the list. How many people have died at the hands of the Russians, too? Anybody know that?
Lots.
Lots. Especially in London. But we also had one here in Washington, D.C. a couple of years ago at DuPont Circle. Remember that one?
I do.
The dead body that was found in the hotel?
Yep.
Okay, so when you start looking at some of all of these other things that are happening, and they're all sitting on the FBI desk on what they are suspicious of, do you remember that the Obama administration threw out 20 or 30 Russian diplomats?
Yeah.
Okay?
Out of New York and Long Island.
And Maryland and San Francisco.
Mm-hmm.
Do we also remember the huge spy swap that we did under the Obama administration that included one red-headed Russian spy by the name of Anna Chapman?
I do.
Okay. So now, are we beginning to see all of this interference of Russia through the eyes of the FBI? You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So when some of these things go to a Rod Rosenstein or go to the Department of Justice, they have to look at the bigger picture and go, what is going on here? I'm not defending Comey, and I'm not defending the FBI, and I'm not defending anything. I am just saying we need to take a longer look at this and see what is really happening here.
Well, I'm not even sure where Comey stands anymore because he has contradicted himself at least twice in the last 3 months.
Well, he came out with a rather scathing tweet yesterday.
Yeah, he did.
So I can't figure this guy out. I can't figure him out at all. He's certainly standing with the FBI against this administration. I think that's the beyond argument here. That's just a fact. But I think in some cases, too, a lot of the hard work, a lot of what they call gumshoe work at the Bureau was kept from Comey. I don't think he knows all the parts, pieces, myself, personally.
Well, speaking of pieces and parts, we've got North Korea, and there seems to be an increased personnel and vehicle presence at their Miram parade training facility. What's this all about?
Well, the North Korean Olympic athletes have arrived apparently in South Korea.
Right.
And we also have some chatter here that they have, in fact, their key.
All right, this is the Gray Eagle. That seems to be all they have on the memo, which was my concern here. North Korea is not really that much of a concern to me. although there has been talk of retaliation from the deep state. Now we do have a number of events coming up, and that would be the Super Bowl on Sunday and Daytona 500 on, I believe, the 18th. Not real sure about that. Go to NASCAR.com and you can verify what that day. It might be the 13th, but it's coming up this month. And of course the Winter Olympics. But those events could be a distraction for any retaliation from the deep state or the swamp. Okay, we're going into the weather report at this time. For Florida. It's taking a few minutes to load up on my weather channel. Okay, it's 68 degrees now, headed for a high of 71, cloudy but no rain predicted. We got rain predicted tomorrow, a low of 59 tonight and tomorrow night, and high of 70 tomorrow, and 80% rain tomorrow. Sun sets at 6:13 p.m. this evening, and so that's it for the Eagle. I'll be doing more videos right now, where I'm trying to increase my subscriber base and with comments, and that's why I'm not doing as many videos at this time. But I'm hoping to do more in the next couple of weeks. I'll probably do one on DACA soon, and but I wanted to do this one on the memo today. I thought it was important because Friday was the day the memo was released. Now this recording comes on Saturday morning, Saturday noon actually, and it was broadcast early Saturday morning. He's on from 2 to 6, or 2 to 5 on Saturdays, rather. Captain Matt and Denise Simon. Now, that's it for this video. It's kind of a longer one than I usually would like to do, but it's, like I say, it's important information. I was especially concerned about that information that they let out on Carter, that the surveillance on him started in 2013. I found that to be very, very interesting, and I think my viewers will too. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch up with you later. The Eagle is out, but I'm not down.